You all know why I'm sighing. I think it's incredibly obvious by now. My entire inbox has been flooded with saying, Chibi, have you heard? Hunter x Hunter is going on hiatus. And I've known about this since late last night. I saw, Chibits mentioning it to me, and I was hoping it was false. Right at the chapter. Yeah. So, I'm getting some odd Berserk vibes from this hiatus, because let's look at the similarities here. Berserk was on a very, very, very long hiatus. A very long-ass hiatus when Guts got on the boat. What's going on right now? What's going on right now in this arc? Our group, our characters are getting on a boat. They got on a boat. Hiatus. Berserk vibes right now. Just straight up Berserk vibes. So, a hiatus, it's happening. It's legit happening. And, I'm sad. I'm very sad to see Hunter x Hunter ending. Because, think. So many series have finally come back. Look, Berserk is coming back. Even an anime is coming. Regardless of how you feel about the anime, like I said, keeping expectations low on the anime of Berserk. Still, a Berserk anime is happening. Berserk is back in manga form. The Gray Man is back, along with the anime coming. We have it to where Tokyo Ghoul is just continuously going up, where it's continuing getting better and better. And then we have all sorts of other series, too, that's constantly coming out. And all new series that used to be on hiatus are now back, or series that ended are now having a part 2 or something that are now here. And then now Hunter x Hunter ends. And I'm like, it sucks, because I wanted that feeling of Berserk and Hunter x Hunter coming out together. I would love to see a day when that happened. We got to see one chapter of Berserk with Hunter x Hunter, but I would love to see it a day when we could have multiple chapters of Hunter x Hunter and Berserk coming out. And that would have been a dream come true, but it didn't happen. Hunter x Hunter is going on hiatus, and it's an indefinite hiatus. So, it can be another year. It can be another 2 years until we see another chapter. And that sucks. That really sucks. Because it's not just that it's going on hiatus. It's because of the content we've been getting throughout the entirety since Hunter x Hunter's return. And this chapter alone, that cliffhanger is a big-ass fucking middle finger. Now, I'm just gonna say this before I go any further, okay? Togashi's health comes first. It does. His health comes first. And we all, I think, by now are very aware of how Togashi has been sick. He's been in and out of the hospital and all that. He's getting a lot of treatment, as we know, and he's had a lot of back issues. And even in his offer comments, he's talked about how he's felt and how he is trying to get healthier, but we do know he has been rather sickly. And because of this, I understand. He's written already a lot of chapters, very good quality chapters that have advanced the plot quite a bit. And in all honesty, I think his health comes first before writing chapters of Hunter x Hunter. That's just me. I love Hunter x Hunter. It's one of my favorite series of all time. But I believe the health of Togashi comes first before the writing of Hunter x Hunter. And since he is sick, he's been going through a lot of issues with his back and all that, and he's trying to get healthier. I'm willing to kind of push back my sadness, upset, my saltiness about, Hunter x Hunter going on break, to know that Togashi, he is a human being, and he does need to rest. And we all know mangaka do a lot of work. Look at Oda-sensei. They all do a lot of work, and it's a lot of effort probably having to crunch over a desk and having to write constantly and draw and stuff, think of the stories and different possibilities and all that. And it's probably time-consuming. Look, Oda barely gets any rest, and that's probably the same could be said for a lot of different mangaka as well. And we do know Togashi does a lot of stuff when it comes to a series and a lot of good writing, so it's probably a very difficult job. I'm not going to put that down. So it's definitely going to do a lot of damage to his back if he is having back issues, constantly crunching over and having to draw and stuff. It's probably going to hurt him. So, for now, though, Togashi going on break, it's to be expected, honestly. And I just hope it's not going to be 2 years until we see the next chapter, but if he does need that long, I just hope, he gets rested, he gets healed up, and he, gets in better top form, and he feels healthier, because I don't want, one of my favorite mangaka to be sick and die because he forced himself to continue working when he should have, took some rest. So, I'll look past it for now. It's upsetting. I am upset, but I think his health comes first. So yeah, I had to talk about it because the hiatus is, news today. So anyways, Hunter x Hunter, the last chapter for a good long while, and probably we can say by now at this point in time, that I think the only manga that we can call something as a seasonal manga series would be Hunter x Hunter. It kind of feels like a TV series. It really does by this point. Think about it. Like, if you watch a famous TV series, let's say Game of Thrones or Walking Dead, usually you get one season, you gotta wait till next year to get the next season. That's usually how, TV series work. And it kind of feels like Hunter x Hunter has fallen into that category of just where it releases maybe a good 10 to 12 chapters, and then it goes on hiatus until, like, the next year or year after that. That's kind of how it feels. So it's funny to think that Hunter x Hunter is very similar to a seasonal TV series. Just food for thought. Okay, so enough of that. Enough with the hiatus. I'm not going to talk about it probably until the end of the video. Hunter x Hunter, the last chapter. I think this is chapter 360. I could be wrong. But regardless if it is wrong or not, final chapter. It was a very good chapter. The core content of this chapter really built up a lot, and it gave us a massive fucking cliffhanger with Kurapika, which I will talk about. So, the main points of discussion about this chapter is that we found out that each individual queen gets assigned bodyguards. Now, we already know they have bodyguards, but we found out that there's more details to this. So, the oldest queen, the one that's like the first queen of all, out of all 8, that queen is able to choose all the bodyguards. For instance, all 8 bodyguards, that queen is able to choose her own personal guards. And the latest queen, for instance, the one we've been following that has, our little baby prince, that queen has no royal bodyguards that can protect her that she can trust. For instance, all the bodyguards that have been sent to her are all bodyguards from the other queens to spy on her, which is very interesting because it changes up the entire dynamic of this war between the princes, because we now know that there are some queens that have spies amongst their ranks, but also we found out that there's one single queen that has no spies, and that's the first queen. So once we factor all this out, we know that some are safe, some are not, and some have royal guards that can actually watch over them and protect them with their life. And that would mean that our queen, the one we've been following, is in a disadvantage because there's no person that could really protect her that she could really trust besides the certain hunters that she selected, for instance like Kurapika, even the one person that told Kurapika about the, parasite Nin. So that's very interesting stuff. I like that about this chapter, how we found out more about how the bodyguards work with the queens. And it was interesting information. It was a little bit confusing because of the dialogue that was used, but after rereading it about 3 times, I was able to completely understand it. It's pretty much like this, to kind of make it in simplistic terms. So let's say our queen, she's the 8th one, okay, the one we've been following. She's the newest queen, she's the 8th one. Right now, she has, I think, like 8 or 7 bodyguards or whatever, and she has all these bodyguards that have been hand-selected. Actually, no, 7 bodyguards that have been selected by the other queens. And all of these bodyguards that have been selected for her are just, different queens spying on her. And so once, let's say, a new queen pops up with a new child, that would mean that our queen, the one we've been following, will be able to select a bodyguard that she can trust. And that would be one royal guard or something she can trust out of all the others she has. And that would mean the new queen, she would get all these other bodyguards from all the other queens, and they would have, spies on that newest queen, and she would not have a bodyguard to protect her, because it wouldn't be anyone she could really trust until a new queen comes about. So the main point is that our main queen has no one she could trust, and she doesn't have really a bodyguard she could have selected before she came here and met Kurapika. So there you go. Anyways, the Nin Beast. The Nin Beast, when it came to the different creatures, very, very creepy. I love the designs. And that little bear, even though it's very creepy, it's very cute. I love that bear. I really love that fucking cutesy little bear. I mean, it's so fucking massive, and when it shrinks down and becomes something very small, it's kind of like something like a little devil. Like you would have a little angel and a little devil on your shoulder. That's kind of what that thing reminds me of. It was sitting on that dude's shoulder, the hunter, and saying, "Are you free? Are you free yet? Are you not busy yet?" And it was asking this guy constant questions, like if he's not free, and it was just sitting on his shoulder, like something like a devil or something, asking him questions in his ear, and eventually he decided to say he was free, and his body became controlled by this Nin Beast. So most likely it has something to do with some conditions. For instance, you have to accept the Nin Beast, and let's say, like, if it asks you, "Are you free?" and you say, "Yes, I am free," it will take control of you and force you to do things that you don't want to do. For instance, kill people, and that's what we saw in this chapter. And I wonder about there's some other conditions too, because I noticed that Nin Beast, that little bear, was following the dude around after, he pointed at himself, because the Nin Beast asked, like, "Are you free?" And then the guy was like, "Me?" And then the Nimbeast nodded. You actually see a panel like this. You actually see that panel in the earlier parts of this chapter. And then he points at himself, he's like, me? And, you know, the Nimbeast nods. And then after that, that Nimbeast pops up on the dude's shoulder and is following him around. So most likely a condition for this is that if you acknowledge the Nimbeast's question, it might continuously follow you around until you actually say yes. I can see something like that happening. So if you acknowledge its existence and answer it in any form or way, it will follow you around and make you its target. And that's kind of what happened when, you know, he pointed at himself and he nodded. So yeah, I like that. I really like that. Adds a different dynamic to these Nimbeasts and how this one's very dangerous because if you answer it, you can be under its control and it can fuck you over. Now, at the end of the chapter, Kurapika, he's going into a fight. And this is the first time in a very long time we have seen him about to engage in a fight. And it makes me so upset. It makes me so upset that we're not going to get to see it for a very long time. It makes me so sad. It makes me so fucking sad to know we're not going to get to see this fight for maybe a couple months, maybe a year or two. It makes me just so sad to know that we're not going to get to see this fight anytime soon. It's because Kurapika, he's one of my favorites. And to see how we're not going to get to see this fight that was getting hype built up at the end of the chapter. And, you know, we found out hiatus. It's like, fuck. So, yeah. At least we can expect when Hunter x Hunter returns that it's going to be a pretty epic fight. I mean, Kurapika versus a Hunter for the first time, we're going to get to see him go out, all out and all that. I'm excited. I really am excited for that. But for now, we're going to have to wait. So this chapter of Hunter x Hunter was kind of simplistic. I mean, it was mainly just letting us know about the bodyguards when it came to the queens. It was letting us know about the identity of some of these Nimbeasts, raising many questions of how the little baby prince could possibly be using this Nimbeast in any way, and how it could actually go against his will and start doing things without him even being able to see it. This confirms that all the princes won't be able to see the Nimbeast at all if they don't know how to use Nin, and I mean the Nimbeast can do whatever it wants without them actually even being aware. And so there is a possibility that these Nimbeasts that we see in this chapter could be by the little baby. It is a possibility. And it's very funny how Kurapika brings up the theory that some of us have already been theorizing, of how maybe the little baby, to protect its mother and protect itself, it used the Nimbeast to attack the people that could possibly cause it harm. And that's what we saw in these recent chapters, and maybe that is what is going on. So overall, the chapter is a pretty good chapter. It was a very good chapter. I really hope Hunter x Hunter comes back very soon. Kind of sad, but yeah, that's what we have to live with because there's nothing we can do about it. So this is my final Hunter x Hunter video for a very long time, probably. It's sad to see it go already. Didn't it return in April or May? Can't believe it. So yeah, you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. It just Togashi, I hope we get better soon. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.